I'm a firm believer that everybody should be able to play every game, but unfortunately that's not the case. In countless instances over the years, various video games have come out confined to one or two consoles, and rather than increase the sales thanks to the exclusivity, it actually ends up hurting the game overall due to technical issues, a lack of console interest, or just missed opportunities with the overall market. We're going to talk about 10 games. Well, they absolutely came out on the wrong console. For whatever reason, let's get started. Kicking off our list at number 10 is Bloodborne for PlayStation 4. This is a very popular game that was a spiritual successor to the Soul series, and it launched in March of 2015 as an exclusive for the PS4. The game received critical acclaim for its world building, its visuals, gameplay, and signature difficulty, and while Bloodborne sold like hotcakes for the PS4, a lot of fans of the Soul series were not happy with it being locked to one console. Demon's Souls and the Dark Souls trilogy were all available on the Xbox and the PC, so restricting Bloodborne to one console, a console that was pretty new at that time, definitely did not sit well with a lot of gamers. So while Bloodborne was an excellent game and it sold good, just imagine how much better it could have sold if it was released on the Xbox and the PC as well. I don't get it. For the sake of exclusivity, you cut yourself and sell yourself super short. At number 9, we have a game called Lost Odyssey for the Xbox 360. This is a RPG that became a fan favorite for success. It was unfortunately limited due to the misunderstanding of the target audience. Lost Odyssey is a fantasy role-playing game developed by Mistwalker in Field Plus, and it was published by Microsoft in 2017 as an Xbox 360 exclusive title. The game was in development for almost 4 years, and when it did come out, it was met with pretty good reception from fans and critics. Initially, the game sold very well in Japan, but those sales quickly fell off, and it only managed to sell 110,000 units in 3 years. So what was the problem? Well, as some of you may know, the Xbox brand isn't exactly popular in Japan, especially when compared to Sony and, Microsoft and the Xbox brand. They apparently didn't care. You had an RPG, it was released for a console that not a lot of people in the target audience actually have, and it caused an insane dip in sales, and the game, unfortunately, never got a sequel. Lost Odyssey ended up garnering a bit of a following in the US, and it's still considered one of the best 360 games, so it's a shame that it was limited to the Xbox, because if it had launched on the PS3 and the Wii as well, we would probably have gotten a Lost Odyssey too. This game comes up on a lot of lists lately. At number 8, Lawbreakers for the PS4. Now, Lawbreakers is a total flop, and it was kind of doomed to fail from the start, but people seem to forget that a lot of that was due to the fact that the console version was bad. Lawbreakers was a team-based hero FPS developed and released by Boss Key Productions that is now shut down. In the summer of 2017, it was pretty much dead on arrival due to its inability to impress people over the competition, mainly Overwatch and Team Fortress 2. However, the PC version was actually pretty well received by critics and players alike, but the PS4 version was hammered by them for countless technical issues. Lawbreakers already had an unimpressive launch, but if the game was reviewed well by people, it could have made a comeback. Unfortunately, that bad PS4 version gave it enough bad press to make people write the game off completely, and it just added to the stack of negatives that it already had against it, further driving Lawbreakers into the dirt and solidifying it as a failure. If Lawbreakers had only been released on PC, I honestly think it could have made a comeback, but the bad PS4 port did not do it any favors. At number 7, Mad World for the Wii. Mad World is, well, it's an interesting game. While the Nintendo Wii was pretty much universally looked at as a family-friendly console, Mad World destroyed that image with its graphic violence and its mature tone. Violence aside, though, Mad World was a pretty well-received game, and it was a fun hack and slash with an awesome art style and visual flair. But due to the fact that it was an M-rated game released on a console that nobody bought to play M-rated games, it didn't exactly sell well. Mad World could have been a hit, honestly, if it had been released for the 360 and the PS3 alongside the Wii. Plus, it would have been even better because it would have had better visuals to go along with the gameplay. But nope, Sega decided to release an ultra-violent hack and slash on the Wii. Good call! At number 6, we have Monster Hunter Tri and Monster Hunter 4 for the Wii. Speaking of good games that could have been much, much better if they were somewhere else, we have the 3rd and 4th entries in the very popular Monster Hunter series. Monster Hunter Tri was released for the Nintendo Wii in 2009, and Monster Hunter 4 launched for the 3DS 3 years later. Now, both of these games were received good and they sold good, but if you've played Monster Hunter World, you probably know what I'm about to say. Monster Hunter is a game that should boast awesome large-scale environments and sights and visuals, and the Wii and the 3DS, well, they're not capable of those things. Monster Hunter Tri suffered especially due to this very low graphical power of this console. If these two games had been developed for the 360 and the PS3 at the time, they could have been absolutely amazing. Cracking into the top 5 today, we have Red Dead Redemption for the Xbox 360 and the PS3. Now, Red Dead is a fantastic game, regardless of what you played it on. In the first game, the first game's quality is the reason we're also excited for the sequel coming out this October. But if you follow Rockstar's history of games, the first Red Dead is one of their only games to never come out on the PC. Almost all the GTA games have gotten PC releases, as well as most of Rockstar's other games like Max Payne, but for whatever reason, Red Dead was never put on PC. And after seeing the amazing things people did with GTA 5 and mods, it's honestly a shame. Just imagine all the stuff that could have been done in the Red Dead universe if the PC modding community was able to get their hands on it. Now let's hope that Rockstar doesn't make this mistake again with Red Dead Redemption 2. At number 4, we have Rise of the Tomb Raider for the Xbox One. Now, the Tomb Raider reboot from Crystal Dynamics was an amazing game. It was a great way to breathe new life into Lara Croft, but when the sequel came around, fans definitely were not happy to find out that it was being restricted to the Xbox One and Xbox 360 at launch, with PC and PS4 releases much later down the line. This was a step backwards for the entire series as a whole, since the 2000 reboot had been released on the PS3, 360, and PC, and then later for the PS4 and the Xbox One to boot. So restricting the sequel to the Microsoft consoles for a whole year before the PS4 launch was allowed, it not only hurt the sales, it hurt the gaming community's view of the series as a whole. It hurt everything. At number 3, we have Dead Space Extraction for the Wii. This is just weird, man. Another M-rated game that puzzlingly got restricted to the Wii, resulting in a loss of sales. Dead Space Extraction is a rail shooter and a prequel to the first Dead Space game that came out in 2009. You played as a group of colonists who encounter the necromorphs in the events leading up to the first game, and it helped flesh out the Dead Space universe a little bit and explain where the aliens came from. The game got good reviews, but it sold horribly, selling only 9,200 copies in its first 5 days, which is embarrassing for a franchise as big as Dead Space. Now, the game was later released on the PS3 as part of the Dead Space 2 Special Edition, but Dead Space Extraction could have been much more if it was released properly on all consoles and PC from day one. At number 2, we have Bayonetta 2 for the Wii U. It's all about the Wii, man. The first Bayonetta game was a surprise hit that came out for the 360 and PS3 in 2009 when you played as a shape-shifting witch with some awesome hack-and-slash gameplay. The visual style was awesome and the gameplay was a ton of fun, and while it didn't exactly sell great, it got good reviews and garnered a cult following. However, when the sequel was announced, guess what? We're going to put it on the Wii U as an exclusive, meaning that the sequel wasn't only going to be released on any of the other consoles that the first game was on, but it was only going to be exclusive to a console that wasn't selling well. Bayonetta 2 launched in September of 2014 to critical acclaim, with many calling it the best game for the Wii U, but unfortunately, it sold far worse than the first game did, largely due to the fact, of course, that it was restricted to an unpopular console. I don't get who makes these decisions. And finally, at number 1 today, Street Fighter V for the PS4 and the PC. Street Fighter is one of the most legendary video game franchises of all time, so naturally what Capcom decided to do with Street Fighter V was, well, it was dumb. Street Fighter started as an arcade game and then got ports to pretty much every console to ever exist, but when Street Fighter V was announced, fans were pissed when it was revealed that it would be exclusive to PS4 and PC with no Xbox One at all. Fans were mad that a franchise as universally loved and played as Street Fighter was being turned into an exclusive for seemingly no reason. Well, there's money reasons, and it definitely didn't help the game's case when it came to critics to review it. And there you have it, my friends. Those are 10 video games that, well, they came out on the wrong console for whatever reason or whatever backdoor deals were done in the big executive business offices. Let me know some other games that could have made this list. Hope you guys have a great night, and I'll see you soon.